Hello! This video is going to be discussing concept maps. A concept map is a visual representation of ideas surrounding a topic, and it's a good way to help organize new information and help make connections between ideas. I think this is a great way to introduce new information and to get an idea of what knowledge students already have about a topic, and then it's good to keep to add on throughout the unit to track what new progress students gain. I think it's also a great strategy because students have a visual representation of the connections that they're making, and I think it makes it easier to understand and make those connections. So this is for a unit where we're learning about fairy tales and fables. So in this situation, we've already read The Ant and the Grasshopper, and we know it's a fable, but we don't know much about why yet. So we're going to start off by adding some phrases that we think of when we think of these words. So we already know of the ant and the grasshopper, so I'm going to add that. And when I think of fairy tales, I think of stories that I grew up hearing a lot. Okay, so I've added The Three Little Pigs, Sleeping Beauty, and Jack and the Beanstalk, because those are what I've thought of when I thought of fables and fairy tales. So what do we notice about all of these? The first thing I notice is none of them are very realistic. They couldn't really happen. So I'm gonna take a different color for that. And that says talking animals. I'm not sure if it's visible. And then these have magic. So these all have, so all these stories have magical elements of some sort. These two have the talking animals, and then these two have the magic. So I also notice that this one has a clear moral of planning for the future and working. So I'm going to write that down just in case it's important. So now we have a good representation of what knowledge we have before learning anything after reading a story. So based on what knowledge we already brought in and what knowledge we have from that one story, we've been able to figure out two of the main key elements of fables and fairy tales, so magical elements and morals. So throughout the unit, we're going to keep learning new vocabulary and reading new stories, and we're going to keep adding to this concept map and making new connections.